Good afternoon, students. Today we have to start the topics solid state. That is the first chapter in your 12th class. Okay. So our topics is solid state. As already we have discussed gaseous state and some idea regarding the liquid state in 11th class or plus 2 first year science. Okay. So presently we have to discuss in our second year solid state and some part of the liquid state, just like the solution and colligative properties and colloidal state, that is in your second year. So the first chapter in your physical chemistry as well as the plus 2 second year science is our solid state. So this solid state is a very interesting chapter, and especially it is a visualizing chapter, so that you can take any imagination, any shapes, any characters and anything about the solid state. So basically it is a visualizing or imagining chapters. So if you consider something in that angle, that is found to be very interesting to understand the solid state. So basically in solid state, first of all we have to discuss its properties or characteristics. Whenever we have to compare these three states of matter that is present in our nature, all matters: solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. So let us look here, sir. There are three states that is present in our nature where all elements are found to be existing, and these three states basically can be compared by taking with respect to their shape, size, volume, and another thing is intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces. With respect to these two properties, shape, size, volume and intermolecular forces, we can distinguish or compare between solid state, liquid state and gaseous states. So if you see all these things in solid, liquid and gases, we can look here. The solid state, a matter possesses shape, size, volume. Everything is there in solid state. But in case of the liquid state, it has volume, one volume, but there is no its shape and size. No shape and size. It takes the size of the container. It takes size of shape, size of container. Where it puts. In case of gases, there is no shape, no size, no volume. It will completely take the shape, size, volume of container. Shape, size, volume of container. So that is the basically difference, physical visualizing difference between the matters present in the solid state, liquid state and gaseous states. Okay. Let us come next is intermolecular forces. In case of the solid state, the constituent units, the basic unit where the substance is formed, that is found to be maximum in case of the solid state. The intermolecular force between the constituent particles present in the solid state is found to be maximum, whereas the intermolecular force is found to be something less as compared to solid in case of the liquid state. Something less as to liquid state, less to solid. And in case of the gases, the intermolecular force is found to be very minimum or least. So while we are considering regarding these three states of matter, you can observe with respect to shape, size and volume, these three states can be distinguished, and with respect to intermolecular force of attraction also we can distinguish between these three states. Okay. On account of these two fundamental differences, we can also take some characteristics that is specially associated with the particles present in our solid state. So let us here to go regarding properties of solid state. Properties of solid state. So after comparing between solid, liquid and gases, we have to come specially to discuss regarding the properties that is associated with the metals those are present in the solid state. So let us look here. First of all, we have to come its definite shape and size. Shape and size. Any substance that is present in the solid state, they have found to be associated with a particular shape and size. Let us have to discuss regarding this pen, or let us have to discuss about the dusters. You can see they possesses the definite shapes and sizes. Okay, just like these materials, anything that is present in the solid state possesses definite size and its shapes. Okay. Second, we have to come its definite volume. Definite volume. Like shape and size, the solids also possesses definite volume. Its volume is found to be fixed, and its volume also the volume of that particular substance which can be easily visualized. So we can say they are also present the definite volumes. And next we have to come to the characters of the solids, that is compressibility. See, is the compressibility, that means what are the solid particles present in a substance, they are tightly held with a strong force of attraction. Since they are held with strong force of attraction, so if you apply some external force, then they can't change their positions. They have to remain fixed. Hence we can say their compressibility is also very less, or you can say or negligible. So in case of the solids, their intermolecular compressibility factor is found to be very less or negligible. Just like compressibility, the rigidity is also one of the properties in the solids. By the properties of rigidity, what happens? The solids molecules, constituent particles, they are found to be remain fixed in their positions, and they do not change their shapes or their positions. Hence we can say the solids possesses stiffness or rigidity properties. Next properties of solid, that is your diffusion. Diffusion. See, diffusion is the properties we know it detail about in the gaseous states. It is the intermixing properties of the substances present various constituent particles at that. So you see, in case of the gases, they will clearly intermix with one another and they can flow easily also. But in case of the gases, solids, the diffusion is also found to be very less, or you can say it is also negligible. Let us see, if you take two powders, one is a white powder, another is a red powder. Let us have to mix these two powders into, those are present in solid state. However we have mixing, but the mixing is not found to be perfect. That is happening in solid state. But if you take two gases, let us take the oxygen gas or ammonia gas and spread in the air, then what happens? They will intermix and they can move to any directions. So just like this, or in case of the liquid state also, if you compare, you take a bucket of water and put 2 drops of the Ujala fluid, then what will happen? This blue color is found to be dispersed throughout the whole solids. So we can say this diffusion properties is found to be excess in case of the liquids, gases, then it is the liquids, and it is found to be very less concerned in case of the solid substance. Now you see another properties of the solids that we can say the property of fluidity. So fluidity is the property to flow. It is also found to be nil in case of the solids because the gases they can easily flow from one direction to other directions. Just like liquids also, if we pour on a surface, then what will happen? It will move from higher gradient to lower gradients or slopes from high position to low positions. But in case of the solids, it is not found to be possible. That's why you can say the solids do not show the fluidity natures. Just like that, another properties of the solid, that is, you can say melting point and boiling points. These properties of the solids are also found to be very high because the constituent particles are found to be arranged or present in a strong force of attraction, due to which it is very difficult to melt the substance. So it will take some more time to melt it, more heat to melt it or boil the substances. And due to high melting points and boiling points, they require some more amount of heat that is required to change from solid state to liquid states. Another properties of the solid that we can say density. See, density of the solid is found to be very much high as compared to liquid and gaseous substances, because in case of the solid substances, the intermolecular force between the constituent particles are more. As a result, they will come close to each other, they will occupy the less space. So in a less area, they have to occupy more particles, more constituent elements or atoms. As a result, they are found to be density high in natures. So students, now you see that these are all the properties of the solid state. Okay, so any substance or metals those are present in the solid state, they have found to exist all these properties: definite shape and size. Once again, number 1 definite shape and size, number 2 definite volume, number 3 compressibility, number 4 rigidity, number 5 diffusion, 6 fluidity, number 7 properties melting and boiling points, and density. So this is all about what we can compare between the 3 states of matter, that is solid, liquid, gas, and after all, it is the properties of the solids by virtue of which this solid state is found to be different to rest of the 2 states in the following characters. Now we have to go regarding classification of solids. Classification of solids. Now you see what we have to discuss regarding the classification of the solids on the way by which the constituent particles arrange. On that basis, we can classify the solid substances, and it is taken as 2 types of classification on the basis of their arrangement. So on the basis of the arrangement, the solids are classified as 2 categories. One is crystalline solid and another is your amorphous solids. So let us look, yes, the solids has to be classified on 2 ways on the basis of arrangement: crystalline solid and amorphous solids. Now you see what is mean by crystalline solids and what is mean by amorphous solids. You see, in case of the solids, the constituent particles are arranged with a force of attractions. Now you see, in case of the crystalline solids, the constituent particles are present in regular order, and in case of the amorphous solids, the constituent particles are not present in the regular order. Let us look here, so we have to discuss regarding crystalline solids first of all. So see, in case of the crystalline solids, you see, let us, I have to say here one example by taking a substance. Let us, you have to take a chalk and let us just take a marble, piece of marble. You see, in case of the chucks, while you are writing, it is found to be broken easily. With a little force it can be broken. On the other hand, the marble that could not break easily, but although both of the components that we can say either say chalk or either say marble, they are consist of calcium carbonate. So what is difference? In case of the chalk, that is present in amorphous solids, and in case of the that is the marble, that is present in the crystalline solids. So what will happen actually crystalline solids? The constituent particles are found to be present in regular order and geometrical manner also. Let us say if I have to take an ionic compounds with a formula AB, let us look here, sir. Or you can take a NaCl or KCl, just like this. Then what will happen, sir? Here in NaCl, the constituent particles are Na plus cation and Cl minus anion. Now you see, in crystalline solids, these are present in a regular manner. That means you see Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus, Cl minus, Na plus, Cl minus, Na plus, Cl minus, Na plus. Just like this is found to be repeated and it has to be extended through a long range. So you see, these are the constituent particles. These are the cations, these are the anions. So with a cation, another anion, cation, anion, cation, anion. So what will happen? So you see, this is the structure of NaCl, where the constituent ions are Na plus and Cl minus, and it is given in a two-dimensional structures. Whenever you take its cubic structure, three-dimensional structures, then one more layer will be there. As a result, you will see that each Na plus ion is surrounded by your 6 Cl minus ions. You see, just like there are 4, and when it is layer-like structure, above it 1 Cl, below it 1 Cl. So there are 6 Cl minus ions will surround this Na plus ion. Exactly the cation, if you come to Cl minus, it will also arrange for Na plus, above Na plus and below Na plus. So each Cl minus ion also found to be surrounded by 6 Na plus ions. So you see, in the crystal of NaCl, each cation is surrounded by anions and each anion is surrounded by the cations. And this type of arrangement you can see here, it is found to be go regularly through a very long range. That's why any crystalline solid, if we look it or observe it, we can find that its structure is very much regular in nature. Okay. And second thing, in case of the crystalline solids, these are actually perfect solids, perfect arrangement is there. Hence, these solids are oftenly known as true solids because these solids do not change their shapes easily and they have to be remain stable at up to their melting points. Hence, these are known as true solids. And another important nature of these crystalline solids, they possesses the melting points. That is the most important characteristic of the solids. That is a sharp melting point. Okay. So crystalline solids possesses sharp melting point. That means let us say substance has the melting point 97 degree. So in case of the crystalline solid, it is after attaining 97 degrees Celsius, it will go into the liquid state. That means it's that particular temperature, it will move into the liquid state. Okay, hence we can say the crystalline solids are sharp melting points. Next thing, sir, another important properties of the crystalline solids are when we cut the crystalline solids, let us say if we cut a crystalline solid on these portions, then you can see it will give two equal portions or two equal surfaces. Okay, so when cut with a knife, it gives, when cut with knife, okay, it gives two equal surface. It gives two equal surfaces or planes, surfaces and planes in case of the crystalline solids. And just like this, there are the more important properties of the crystalline solids, and it is also one of the properties where the students are found to be always in doubts. These crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature. Anisotropic in nature. So let us to know what is meant by these anisotropic natures. Actually, sometimes we are found to be confusing because amorphous means anisotropic. A is stated in both cases. But actually, what happens? The crystalline solids are anisotropic natures. What is anisotropic nature? Actually, it is the properties by which we know the solids possesses different physical properties, just like melting point, boiling point, density, refractive index, all these things. Whenever we have to see their properties in different directions or different ways, then what happens? In case of the crystalline solids, they are found to be changing. Okay, for example, you see the structure of these compounds. If you compare their properties, let us say refractive index, what will happen, sir? The refractive index in one line, let us say in one line, we have to go in one line. Let us see one line we compare this line, or we compare this line. Now you see the constant particles are found to be different. As the constant particles are found to be different, so we can say their properties are also found to be different. Or any direction we have to take in, the particles are not same type of the particles, the different particles. Hence, while we are comparing any properties, they are not found to be same in all directions. Whenever we compare the properties in different directions, they are found to be different. So these are all the properties and natures of the crystalline solids. So after the crystalline solids, next we have to come regarding amorphous solids. So let us look here, sir. In case of amorphous solids, the basic difference, that is, you can say arrangement. At the beginning, what I say you, amorphous solids, what will happen, sir? In case of amorphous solids, there is no regularity. There is no regularity of arrangement. No regularity of arrangement of constituent particles. No regularity of arrangement of constituent particles, because here the constant particles are not regular arranged, or if it is arranged, that is a very short range. That means after a short range, let us look here, just like here we have to just arrange the particle in a fixed directions and equal distances, but in case of in case of our amorphous solids, the regularity is not like that. Let us say we take one constant particles. Let us say we take a points, that is a particles. It will present in case of the crystalline solids, they are present in just like a regular mode and a particular distance. Okay, but if it is amorphous solids, it is not regular. It may be just like this. It may be just like this. So any particles can present at anywhere. That is found in case of the amorphous solids. So the basic difference between crystalline and amorphous we can predict that in case of the crystalline solid there is a regular arrangement, but in case of amorphous there is no regular arrangement. And another properties of the amorphous solids, they are found to, for example, if you take an example of amorphous solids, quartz, okay, or silica, just like in case of glass. So in case of the amorphous solids, their melting point is found to be not fixed. Melting point is not fixed. Means if a substance amorphous solid has a melting point of around 80 degrees Celsius, what will happen, sir? It don't happen to melt a particular 80 degree. Before reaching the 80 degrees Celsius, let us say from 60 degree onwards, it has to start melting. So in case of the amorphous solids, what will happen, sir? It does not possess the fixed melting point, is like that of the crystalline solids. Already we see that in case of the crystalline solid, it melts at a sharp point, fixed point. But whenever we go to the amorphous solids, they do not melt at a particular temperature, and they start melting before a time. For example, you can observe, sir, if we say a glass, okay, or you can take the windows of old buildings, you can observe that their bottom is found to be something thicker as compared to their top, because with respect to temperatures, they are found to be gradually melts, and the melting is found to be maximum at the bottom. Okay, so that is what you say, their melting point is also not found to be fixed. And another property is just like in case of the crystalline solid, whenever we will cut, it will give two equal surfaces. But in case of the amorphous solids, it don't give two equal surfaces or do not form the equal surfaces. That is also found in case of the amorphous solids. Just like that, the important property is that what we have observed, the anisotropic properties of crystalline solid. In case of the amorphous solid, we have to found the isotropic properties. Isotropic property. See, what is the isotropic properties? In case of the amorphous solids, you will compare the physical properties in different directions, then they are found to be remain same. But why it will happen? Because here the constituent particles are not closely attached. Due to loose attachment of the particles, they are found to be so isotropic properties, means all the properties are found to be isotropic in case of the amorphous solids. So let us see, students. Now we have to compare between the crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Okay. So let us see here. First of all, if we come to the properties regarding the arrangement, first of all, then we can say the crystalline solids, the particles, constituent particles, that may be atoms, ions, or molecules, they are found to be regularly arranged. They are regularly arranged. But in case of amorphous solids, they do not regularly arrange, do not arrange properly. Okay. So actually, what are the solids that we have to discuss in this chapter, sir? Those are actually crystalline solids. So crystalline solids actually true solids that we can see because they do not change their shapes easily. And these amorphous solids, they are known as false solids, false, or we can say pseudo solid. That is also known as pseudo solids. And next, if you go regarding the melting points, then these crystalline solids has to possess the definite or sharp melting point. These have the definite or sharp melting points. But whenever we have to compare the amorphous solids, their melting point do not sharp melting points. Do not sharp melting points. Okay, so they will start before reaching the melting points. Next, if we will go about the symmetry nature, then they will give on cutting, they will give equal portions. On cut with knife, they give equal portions. They give equal portion. If you cut with a knife to a crystalline solids, then they will give equal surface, plane surface with equal portions. But this side they do not give the equal portion on cutting. And next, in case of the crystalline solids, we can see their properties in different directions. They are found to be different. That's why these are known as anisotropic properties. And in case of the amorphous solids, the properties are found to be same in all directions. Hence, we can say that is also isotropic properties. So that is all about the difference between crystalline solids and amorphous solids. So now we have to discuss regarding the three states of the matters. Comparison regarding shape, size, volume, and intermolecular force. And we discussed about what is the characteristics of the solid substances. And now we have to see it is the difference between the crystalline solids and amorphous solids. So next class we have to discuss regarding the types of the crystalline solids.